Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the hardly hear. Raging voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits roll. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, real night band.
All right, it is time for the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. And happy Rodent Awareness Week. Well, rodents come in various sizes and shapes and forms, so yes, indeed. Anyways, again, welcome here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com and the FloridaHSFootball.com social media handles. We don't have an interview here for the night, but we will, as we do every week here, we'll have our Blitz Lines and talk about things here from the previous week here. And as we roll along here, and I'm Josh Wilson. That's Christopher Legg here, and I appreciate everybody joining us here. And boy, hard to believe this is the second to last week of the regular season here for FHA schools. Last week of the regular season for schools in the SSAA. And by the way, as Hendry says here, Chris, it is the 107th meeting of Florida's oldest continuous high school football rivalry this week. That microphone. Chris, microphone.
There you go. Yeah, this is what we call decision week here, John. Most of everything for the playoff will be decided this week.
Absolutely. Here as Sailors get to play that. Will that be in the? Yes. No. Yes on the decision week, Chris. No to the pick'em on Venice because that'll just probably be. No. Even Hardee DeSoto is not on the pick'ems this week, so sorry. Anyways, as we roll along here with everything, boy, we got a lot to really kind of digest here, and let's I'm gonna pull up from our pick six from week number 9 as we get into the Blitz Lines here. And we'll take a look at everything here. And the first up, Chris, that what we looked at here is that Carrollwood Day just rolled all over community school, or as a short for CSN. I got you, Baylor. I got you, Baylor. I got you on that one, seeing CSN, but Carrollwood Day takes care of business and just literally rolls all over the Seahawks and Patriots 7-0, but CSN, they're on their way to the playoffs regardless, just because of their region that they're in. We talked about on the Drive the State show. I think I kind of expressed myself pretty pretty loudly on that show.
As if I.
I think we both, yeah.
Oh man.
Man, it just. Yeah, anyways, and we looked at the Peace River rivalry. Well, that was no contest. Port Charlotte rolls all over Charlotte there in that one. And then, of course, as I saw Baylor mention, it was in the comments just as we were going on, made that 16 straight coconuts for Naples. Little lime with the coconut, as Reno would say.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah. And Naples goes to 6-2-1 on the season. Lele sitting there at 5-3. Boy, it looked like Lele was going to get Naples, and Lele has not won that game since 2009, as Mark Cannon said. And oh yeah, it is one of those ones. And then of course, yeah, for all of us here on this one, this particular pick, Chris, that we had here. Man, I can't wrap my head around this one. How, boy, yeah. Leonard and Parish Community, we got that one wrong, and then here's this one for CC and Venice.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, that one, that's just a bit frustrating. And of course, Reno goes with Cape Coral. I don't know what Reno was thinking on Cape Coral and Riverdale. And boy, Riverdale. Yeah.
It's like the more we know, the less we know. You know,
and that's what I feel like we in this situation is. I feel like no sooner we start getting going and understanding what these teams are doing, we have a week like week number 9.
Yeah. And you have to laugh at it sometimes, and it's like, whatever.
It's like, what do I know about high school football in this state? Apparently, I know nothing right now.
Oh man!
Apparently, I know nothing. I know nothing about the teams. I know nothing about what's going on in Southwest Florida. I know nothing about in each region what's going on. I know nothing, and that's the problem. I'm kind of like trying to wrap my head around here. It's like, what do I really know? I mean, I know stuff. Okay, let's just say I think.
Yeah, we know our stuff, but the problem is we don't know our stuff sometimes.
I mean, we were getting closer and closer to, we were at 7-8%, closer to, getting closer to 80% last few weeks on the Florida Power Rankings Index. And all of a sudden, because of what happened last week, we got over 200 wins, but we suffered 62 losses on the Florida Power Rankings Index. We had been keeping it below 60. And what was our percentage? 76.5%. So we kind of took a little slip, but the overall season record did go up just a slight.
Yeah. And one of the games that stuck out at me is Venice and Clearwater Central Catholic. What in the world? I mean,
I just don't know. I mean, I think he's actually drinking Dr. Pepper, Mark Cannon. I know Chris very well.
Yeah, I am.
Is any chances the battle of the gate is in the picks? No, I'm trying to really get as good games each week on the pick 6 as possible. That's where I'm that's where I feel like are good games, I should say. But
most of the games this week that we have basically games that matter in the district races.
District, or it's going to matter over on the SSA in the final power rankings for them over there in their power ranking, which, by the way, their power ranking is called CCI. It's short for Cross Comparative Index, which uses winning percentage, and it uses the Max Preps SOS, but they calculate it by hand over there. I think, and there's a third component. I want to say I'm not exactly sure. I have to pull it up here because that's the way I've understand it. So CCI, yeah. So I'm trying to see.
Crap index.
No, it's not actually. I would agree. I think that it's in some parts of it. Actually, I wouldn't say it's complete crap. No, I wouldn't say that. Let's see. What is CCCI? Okay, it's called competitive comparative index. Sorry, it's Max Preps SOS and win percentage. So the Max Preps ring. Now, see, here's the thing. If we look at the actual what's on MaxPreps.com, I tell you what, there's a lot of coaches that say just use what's on MaxPreps.com, but maybe use. In my opinion, why don't we use a combination of rankings here? Look at what we got here. Look at what Hey, you want to license some rankings? Okay, we'll gladly license some rankings. look at
even throwing the Massey rankings for crying out loud.
And I actually throw that in the garbage can.
Yeah.
I know, Emery, I'm not exactly sure on when the SSA rankings are going to be released. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday. I have to ask Gage Brown about that and see if he tells me what I'm most likely to probably be Saturday, considering that some games will have to be scheduled Thursday just because of officials. So I almost want to say it's definitely going to be Saturday, I would say. So, but yeah, what is really, I'm just trying to I'm looking at the forecast here this week here. I mean, I'll tell you, there's some of the games that are not on the forecast. Obviously, Venice 43 over Sarasota. That's the forecast. Riverview 56 over Lehigh. That's Sarasota Riverview. And then looking at a couple others here, what's really interesting is I'm seeing here there's some thing, and it's kind of looking at some games ahead that we will talk about here, Chris, before we get to our pick 6 here in a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
As we roll along here. Looking at the picks here that we've got here, obviously big game for Bishop Road this week as they host Cardinal Newman. Obviously, that Northeast Southeast game is going to be very, very, very intriguing. Obviously, North Fort Myers Riverdale, that could be interesting. That could be a potential issue game for Riverdale, depending on how North Fort Myers comes out of the game on that one. Obviously, you got a Immokalee Gulf Coast. You got South Fort Myers Dunbar. You got Naples at Port Charlotte. Again, a lot of these games, all these games I just mentioned are going to matter somewhere or another in terms of the playoff rankings. Be it a district or be it even non-district, it's still going to matter in terms of where the teams stack up in their regions.
Yep.
So, Baylor just asked, about Golden Gate. Well, what is Golden Gate? 17 over Palmetto Ridge. That's the forecast from the Florida Power Rankings Index. By the way, the spreads for every game is sitting up now on FloorHSFootball.com. For season ticket members, the projected scores in the win probabilities, outside of the win probabilities that we do give you on the pick 6 each week, they are available for season ticket subscribers. That is $7.99 a month or $59.99 for the year. So for season ticket membership, for the premium season ticket members that we have over there, you can go and check that out. Looking at a couple other things, obviously Sebring is a big underdog this week, by the way. So for the FHA rankings, I would do a composite of several different rankings and average. I agree. I've been contemplating about that. I think what I need to do this week is just finally sit down and look at it and see what does a composite look like this week based upon, okay, what is our rankings? What's our rankings? What's based upon maxpreps.com? What's, obviously the FHA rankings, Max Preps.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think who else would be a good one. I don't know if maybe look at, because USA Today, Florida Network, they do high school, they do their own rankings. They have the top 25 and then they have the classification rankings, but they don't do anything beyond we go deep. We go deep. We rank every team. I mean, if you're playing football, 11 man, 8 man, we rank them. So Laz is another one. Yes, I would use Laz. Cal Preps, I would say.
I would use that.
High school rating, I would look at that one too. Massey.
Massey's on the fence right now.
I'm very much on the fence about Massey, and here's the thing. Here's the thing that I don't understand is why Rivals on 3 refuses to recognize High School Football America's top High School Football America 300. I don't understand why they're not putting it in their composite. There's a couple other sets of rankings that they're not throwing in their composite, and I don't know if it's just. I have more questions than answers, really, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't know either. Probably an issue between Jeff Fisher and On 3 and Rivals. I really don't understand it.
And honestly, I the first set of national rankings I lean towards and looking at, I go look at Jeff Fisher's.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's who's in the driver's seat for it. Well, honestly, that's the good question. Port Charlotte's going to be in the driver's seat if there's a 3-way tie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what we got going on here, Chris. There's a lot to really take in here. I'm looking at this. I just wanted for Southwest Florida. Just looked at it. It came across as I was looking at it, glancing at it. Mariner 5 over Ida Baker. That could be an interesting game, especially two teams that are sitting there on the outside looking in, way outside of the. Emery said the Scorpion. I've seen some interesting things over there. I'll tell you this right now, since we got a moment. Who is Bixby, Oklahoma? I don't understand how are they the number one team in Massey when we're talking.
I understand an Oklahoma team being there, but I don't understand how Bixby is number one overall.
And there's only one Florida team, by the way, over there that's ranked in the top 25. I don't understand why when most of the other top 25s of these rankings that are out there at least have 3 to 5 teams from the state in the top 25. We're always going to have teams in the top 25, at least 3 to 5, maybe even up to 6, depending on what kind of year it is.
Yeah, as far as Bixby goes, they could beat half the teams in Texas right now, but I digress.
Yeah, and that's another thing. But yeah, Baylor, they did win 92. And that's where I have a problem with that, is that I feel like it goes way more on offense, and it's not looking at really strength of schedule. It's giving way more for offensive points. And that, to me, honestly, that doesn't there's a at one point, Massey used to be the big thing. It used to be really respected, especially in the BCS era. Now, you might as well just forget it.
Yeah, Massey was big for the BCS. And Massey was actually used for the BCS formula.
And that's where I've got some issues in terms of just what we're looking at here. I mean, there's some things that just bother me about it.
And there's a reason why the BCS doesn't exist anymore, and that's one of them.
That SOS is a yikes for our supposed national high school team. Baylor, where are you looking at? Are you looking at what's on Max Preps? Are you looking at what's on Massey? Because he said that SOS is a yikes. Now I'm wondering, Chris. I'm wondering.
Yeah.
I am just wondering. I got to go take a look at this now, because this is interesting, because I'm glad we're kind of having a little debate here, because this is a good spot. We can have that debate here. Yeah. Rankings. Yeah. Well, it says their strength is 22 in terms of the national rankings has got them number 20 in Max Press, but their strength is 22. But see, I don't know.
I'm looking at their schedule here.
I mean, you still you shouldn't be rewarded for beating somebody.
I mean, they're playing a decent schedule. They played Jinx, they played Owasso, they played.
I just don't know if they're the number one team overall in the nation. That's where
no, they're not. They're not. I don't see them being the number one team. I mean, they got a road game against Mustang this weekend, Mustang, Oklahoma, and then Norman to close out the season. So, decent schedule, but still, they're playing a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just kind of struggling on this, but. Mark told me Laz personally knows Massey. I'm not surprised Laz knows Massey. I'll be honest, Laz is probably even closer. Now the difference between what I've got here, what Laz doesn't predict the out-of-state games. It's obviously data. I do try to predict the games against out-of-state opponents, because at least provide something. A lot of times we're right on those, what the predictions are. Sometimes we're off. But again, high school football is a funny animal, and there's so many things that can happen on any given Friday night.
And to be honest with you, Josh knows this. I actually have talked to several of those guys. I've talked to Matthew before. I've talked to Laz before.
And Laz lives here in Florida, by the way. So Laz is Florida based, and Laz did say, because he posts all his stuff on the message board, which is our message board, which is by the way, we like have the only Florida message board left. That's for years it could be another one, and we're the only one left right now standing in terms of a full message board that's actually still active right now.
Yeah,
in the state. Now there's others in the other states, but here in Florida,
I mean. We've talked about expanding it to other platforms, but
Yeah, but anyways, with that said here, again, Thursday, November 6th, that's when the FHA is going to put out the playoff rankings. So kind of we're gonna have a lot to digest with that right before. And plus, I think them putting it out, that it gives teams, because some teams will have to play Thursday games, and that gives them a week to get ready. So. Yeah, yep, you're right, Imre. That was the case. A lot of the rivals message boards and a lot of the rival sites that were high school sites are now gone.
Yeah, they cut out the high school business when rivals got bought out by Yahoo.
Yeah. So, yeah. With that said, here, but Chris, why don't we take a quick break here, and we'll come back, and we'll get to I think what everybody's looking at. Want to know the pick six games. What are we thinking here this week? Because man,
some interesting games on there.
No, you're absolutely right here. All right, we'll be right back here, on the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com. Right after this.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. I thought, if that's out there, I want to make sure I see it and I get involved in it, because to me, this was music to my ears. I was blown away. When you look at today's kid, the millennium kid, they learn by being able to see it. If I can see it, there's a great chance that I can do it. The First Down Playbook is a tool that can essentially change the way we teach the game.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Get ready for the 2026 Coach of the Year Clinics. This February and March, see top collegiate coaches, learn from the best, and take your program to the next level. Don't miss America's most respected coaching clinics.
All right, welcome back here to the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com. Noli says, look for my comprehensive rankings. I know he's just kidding. He's just giving us crap here on the show here. And we love Noli. Glad to see Noli on here. Glad to see our usuals here. And by the way, you guys, come on. You gotta tell your other friends to get over here and get on YouTube and watch us. Okay, we're going to keep growing that channel. We want to keep growing this thing. And you know what? I think Thursday, November 6th, we're gonna have a really good time.
Oh, yeah, we will have a lot of fun with that, and it can be very interesting to see how we react to the bracket.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely be interesting to see, and honestly, let's we're just looking at everything now. I mean, there's some stuff here. I got to be honest with you here, and just looking at everything again, there's need to be some serious changes after this season. Because if we don't get changes, it's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, and worse than describe it.
Yeah, words on the sky. I'm sorry, Noli's like, you don't want me to sign anything, and that's anything in caps. I'll make a lot of enemies. With that said, let's go ahead and get into pick 6 here for week number 10 here as we roll into it here. All right. Well, first up on the pick'ems for this week, we've got a lot here going on, and with that, well, by the way, I don't have Reno's picks, so I think Reno's just going to get whatever I give him. What would you say? Do I give him the underdog or do I give him the favorite?
No, what would Reno do? I don't know. What would Reno do? I don't know.
Well, usually he'll take the other team. I don't know what thing. Well, we'll go from there. Anyways, here we go. First up on the picks is Cardinal Newman 6-2 at Bishop Row 4-4. Cardinal Newman 33-point favorite over the Vikings. Win probability 99% for Cardinal Newman. I think Newman will get this one, and this should give him enough of a boost. Oh, he's giving me picks now, so here we go. All right, Cardinal Newman. He's just in time, and he is going Cardinal Newman. So, yes, I think Cardinal Newman calmly, I think. Hendry says just flip a coin for Reno. So, yeah. So you're
give me Cardinal Newman, but I think it's gonna be closer to that. Bishop Row, I think they got a chance in this game, but not much of one.
I hear you on that one. I think that's the Road's going to have a chance, but that chance is going to be small. All right, Northeast out of St. Petersburg at Southeast. Northeast kind of made things interesting 2 weeks ago. Well, that entire district's up 1-1. We talked about it at the start in the Drive the State Blitz. But looking at it, this situation, this is what Southeast needs to go right for them. Win over Northeast and then have St. Petersburg beat out Osceola. All right, that's one scenario you've got going on. All right, Northeast wins the district if they beat Southeast and Osceola wins over St. Pete. Now, the situation is this, and this is what – here's the thing. Yes, Southeast needs to win, but they're going to need St. Pete to pull off an upset because Osceola is a 40-point favorite over St. Pete. And I believe that forecast is really good in terms of that. So, with that said, the situation lies in this. Osceola wins the district if Southeast wins this game and they beat St. Pete, which that's a more favorable scenario than this. That's probably the most favorable scenario out of the four that are sitting here right now. So where do we go with this?
I like Southeast in this game. Well, that's not a question. Northeast is not that good, but Southeast, yeah, I think they got to hope that something happens in the other game because it's out of their control, really.
Yeah, it really is out of their control at this point here, as they're going to need St. Pete to pull off a massive upset on Osceola to win this game here. Southeast a 27-point favorite, but the situation is that they could be left out of the playoffs despite if they win this game. So just keep that in mind here as we look at this going on. All right. Up next, we have North Fort Myers 4-4 at Riverdale 7-1. Well, it's a 56-point spread here. I mean, it's trying to put some games on here. That's what we got here. But I feel like there's a chance maybe for North Fort Myers, if there's anything that Riverdale gets too far looking ahead, North Fort Myers slips in and pulls off an upset. That's why it's on here. But is there a chance, or is it going to be all Riverdale?
Give me Riverdale. It's not going to be close.
Yeah, I'm going to take Riverdale. Reno's taking Riverdale as well. So I guess we're all kind of in agreement. It looks like on the looking at everything here on that is everybody is going with Riverdale so far in the chat here. So is Noel Divine playing? Is that for Riverdale? or North Fort Myers. I'm sorry. Again,
North Fort Myers.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure. 56-point spread for the Pick'em is a little. I mean, you should see the one for Vero Beach and Treasure Coast at 75 points. Anyways, let's roll along here as we got a couple more minutes here. Immokalee 6-2, Gulf Coast 5-3. Where do we go with this one, Chris? It's a big district title game here for these two teams. Immokalee a 7-point favorite, 75% win probability.
Yeah, give me Immokalee.
You know, I think Immokalee wins this one here, but even if Immokalee loses this one, I still think they're going to be safe playing the playoffs just based upon the way the region is looking at it there for them. But I'd say this, Immokalee in, and then in the playoffs probably go to 7-2. Then I'm going to take Immokalee, and Reno's taking Immokalee. All right, up next is this one in terms of the 4A12 matchups. Those are going to be our two final games, the 4A12 matchups, because everything matters here in this district the way it's going. South Fort Myers 6-2, Dunbar 6-2. South Fort Myers is a 12-point favorite, win probability at 86% play. So there's a lot that can happen here. Dunbar can win this game, throw everything off for South Fort Myers. South Fort Myers can win this thing and throw everything off for Dunbar, throw the whole district into chaos. I mean, the district's already chaos as it is, Chris. So,
yeah.
Where do we go?
Give me South Fort Myers.
I am with you. I'm rolling with South Fort Myers. Dunbar, there's some Jekyll and Hyde type things I feel like that's with Dunbar. So, but give me South Fort Myers, especially after the way they handled Naples. And but Reno is taking Dunbar there, so we'll see what happens in that one. And then our last game up here on the docket is Naples 6-2-1, Port Charlotte 7-1. Port Charlotte 7-point favorite over the Golden Eagles, 74% win probability on this one.
Give me Port Charlotte.
Yeah, this one kind of surprised me. I thought the spread would be a little bit more, but you know what? These two teams are closer than they're close. And this is why these two district games matter. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they pulled off that one, but give me,
cause some chaos in that district is for a potential three-way tie, especially if South Fort Myers goes ahead and takes care of Dunbar. Ooh, that is going to get interesting. Looking at the rest here for the picks that Reno has for us here is Port Charlotte. He's going Naples here on this one. So that is the final pick for him on this one here for the here on this one here for the Southwest Florida edition of the Blitz here. And that is it. That is our pick 6 for week number 10 here as we roll along here, Chris. And wow.
Hard to believe the Lakers season's almost over.
Hey, I'm having a hard time believing that too as well here as we get ready to wrap up the show here. And coming up will be the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here. We got Alan Slaughter-Skinsky from the Brevard Sports Network joining us here for the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. We'll be back here in just a few minutes here on FortHSFootball.com. See ya.